All right, welcome to the Lockdown Podcast. It is February 4th, 2024. And we're just going to do a little short video on just kind of the current champions and the possible opponents, either at Elimination Chamber or the ones leading into WrestleMania. On top, you have Roman Reigns, obviously, with his extensively long reign with a lot of cheating, but nonetheless, he has a crap ton of days over, I think, over 1,300. You got Seth Rollins with the World Heavyweight Champion. You have Rhea Ripley as the Women's Champion. You have Io Sky as the other Women's Champion. You have Gunther as the Intercontinental. Logan Paul against My Better Judgment. I can't stand, but the dude can perform as United States Champion. Finn Balor and Damian Priest as Undisputed Tag Team. And you have the Kabuki Warriors as the women tag teams. You have in NXT, you got Ilya Dragunov as the NXT champion, Laya Valkyria as the women's champion. You have Oba Femi, who cashed in the breakout tournament winner in a matter of literally a week. Boom, champ. You got Tony D'Angelo and Jack Standing Lorenzo as NXT tag team, and you have Noam Dar as the Heritage Cup champion. That really doesn't mean anything. So, with that being said, let us get into All right. So let's go down the pretty much WrestleMania matches that we know are going to happen. So we obviously had The Rock come back, and now he finally goes face to face with Roman. So that's pretty much a lock in for WrestleMania. Seth Rollins, I mean, against his better judgment and injuries, looks like I would think maybe this is just me, is that Damian cashes in his Money in the Bank or Senior Money in the Bank, and let's just say he ends up headlining it against Cody Rhodes. That'd be that'd be my hypothetical for WrestleMania. Now you have Rhea Ripley, who recently, I mean, I got recently, but is getting into it with Nia Jax. Maybe that's Elimination Chamber. Maybe that's WrestleMania. There's got to be some titles defended at Elimination Chamber, so that could be one of them. Io Sky is facing Bailey at WrestleMania. Gunther, I mean, what a reign! How many times does this dude defend it? The dude is the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion of all time. And honestly, he's probably defended this title more in his 600 days than Roman has in his 1,300. So honestly, I have more respect for Gunther as a champion than I do Roman Reigns, because even everybody says it, the dude can't win without outside interference. Enough being said. So Logan Paul is United States champion. I want this reign to be done. Maybe at Elimination Chamber. Maybe we got, you know, his title on the line at Elimination Chamber. I think that'd be a very easy championship to put on there, just because it's Logan Paul, and you think that it would make sense to have him defend an Elimination Chamber. Now you have Finn Balor and Damian Priest, the undisputed tag team champions. Which I think anybody and everybody is basically saying, let's divide the titles, because it doesn't make any sense to have them carry them around on both brands, really not defend them that often. And I feel like splitting the titles back up again, just, it would make more sense for the tag team division in a whole to have champions on each brand. Now, Kabuki Warriors, I don't know how long they're gonna hold these titles. I really could be a couple months, maybe 6 months. But I mean, the women's tag team division is so bleak that I feel like it's gonna be a tossed together team that would probably beat them. But I mean, I think the recent storyline with the whole Bailey getting, kind of booted out of her own group, and I feel like the division of that, I feel like that's a great storyline. We knew it was gonna happen. But so now I know not a lot of people don't watch NXT, and I feel like you don't know the stars that are there when they get called up, and you're like, okay, who is this dude, right? like when Braun Breaker got called up, to the Royal Rumble, like the dude put on a clinic. Yeah, he got eliminated and win, but you know what? They throw NXT stars in like big matches like Royal Rumbles just to see how they fare. And honestly, I feel like with the given information as far as the whole Vince thing and Brock Lesnar's kind of out, I feel like Braun Breaker would be a great fill-in to basically kind of take the reins as the big angry mean dude, that Brock Lesnar was. And so, well, they let's slow I'm really hoping he gets a main roster push. I feel like he's much deserved it, not just because of his, you know, the the family and everything else. I feel like he's a threat. He's a big dude. He's fast, just like Brock was. So, I feel like that'd be a good fit. Now, so okay, so NXT, so Ilya Dragunov. So now we have Vengeance Day coming up, and um, he's bursting Trick Williams, which I feel like Trick Williams needs to have that title. I feel like it's high time. It's his time. I mean, Whoop That Trick is like trending like freaking never before. The dude definitely deserves it. Now, Laya Valkyria, I mean, I can't say enough about. I feel like the women's division in the NXT is definitely it's crowded, but it's crowded for a good reason. In the fact that you basically have a plethora of people, across the board in the women's division in NXT. And I feel like, that, Tiffany Stratton got called up. That was definitely a good thing. She's a good wrestler. You can hate the gimmick of her, whole persona and, but she can wrestle and she justifiably got her main roster call up. Um so Obafemi, man, what a mean dude. If you haven't watched NXT and you have not seen this dude, the dude won the breakout tournament and he because basically winning the breakout tournament is basically kind of like the same concept as Money in the Bank. So like where you can basically cash it in whenever you want. And yeah, Obafemi didn't go for the big title, and that's you know justifiable to not have that happen, just because of the storyline that it is right now with the NXT Championship. I don't think this dude, honestly, unless there's someone bigger, I think Obafemi is going to hold that North American champion longer than anybody else. That's just my thoughts. The dude is a monster, and I mean, man, if you see this dude wrestle, you'll understand. So, now the men's tag team in NXT, I mean, kind of bland. What I mean, honestly, like I like the whole Tony D'Angelo and Channing Stack Lorenzo and everything. I like that. I like the story of kind of the whole mob type mentality, and that's all well and good. But I feel like the tag team titles need to just get off their shoulders, and I feel like NXT needs to develop more men's tag teams that are going to be a threat to the title. Um, yeah. So Noam Dar is the Heritage Cup champion. I don't like. I He keep like they talk about how good Noam Dar is and the Heritage Cup, but I just don't. It's not logical when recently he faced a bigger guy, and yeah, he faced Von Wagner, and like you'd think, okay, the Von Wagner is way bigger than you, and you should lose that, but like the Heritage Cup champion is literally it's just kind of dumb. But I mean, that's just me. But Yeah, so I mean, this is just kind of a quick video, just my thoughts. I really do like I like the idea of Rock versus Roman, but The Rock's not going to stay around, so it's kind of a money grab. From you basically bring in a legend, and you get that money grab for the nostalgia. But I don't think The Rock's beating Roman. And this is just my. If it did happen, I feel like it'd be kinda cool if Damian Priest cashed in on The Rock, because that would be a pop. That'd be a huge pop, you know? But it's gotta happen soon, because Money in the Bank, I mean, Money in the Bank's around the corner, so it's like he has to cash in that, in that year time frame. He's had plenty of attempts thwarted by Drew McIntyre and, other of things of that nature, but I just feel like he's gotta cash in sooner rather than fricking later. But I think the tag team titles need to go off his go get out of the Judgment Day, and Damian needs to become champ and go solo because I feel like Damian Priest, he's a threat by himself. When he came into the WWE and came, from NXT and from the main roster and everything, the dude is a great wrestler, a great performer. He is good on the mic, and I feel like, I think he just, we need to break up the Judgment Day because I feel like Dominic just needs to go down to NXT. Dominic is not a well-rounded wrestler. He's just obnoxious, you know. And JD McDonough. I mean, I don't know. Dominic and him keep on losing in the main roster anyway, so I don't even know why they're even featured. Honestly, like the Judgment Day, it was a cool group thing when Edge started it up and everything, but I feel like at this point, I think it's run its course. And I mean, Rhea's gonna keep going doing Rhea because Rhea doesn't need the Judgment Day. The Judgment Day needs Rhea. And obviously Rhea is pretty much the self. Pretty much all of us kind of agree that she's the head of the group. Let's be real. And so yeah, and and I'm definitely liking um just to kind of sidetrack from champion wise, but like I like the Karrion Cross in the AOP. I feel like honestly that's a great trifecta. And you know, I honestly I always like Alpha Academy. Thank you. And I like kind of the revamped um with Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits or the Pride, I think is what they called them. I there's a lot of trifecta tag teams um currently going right now, and I feel like the tag team division needs to start again being separate on both brands because it's going to be way more competition, way more opportunity. Because I mean, honestly, when Damian Priest and Finn Balor defend their titles, it's always outside interference. It's rarely ever a clean match, which has become the new norm. I mean, Royal Rumble. I mean, the Fatal Four Way, with Roman and Randy Orton, and it was such a good Fatal Four Way that got interrupted by, you guessed it, outside interference, and I feel like that taints his title reign because it just doesn't. We're not we're not entertained by it, dude. It like legitimately, my buddy and I that also does this podcast, not here right now, but like we both kind of just gave Royal Rumble like a C plus, B minus, and and a B minus probably being generous. They didn't have any real surprise entrance because everybody came back, and everybody came back beforehand as far as like the men's, and so you basically just had regular roster. You didn't have any legends. You didn't have any like, ooh ah moments because and you could see that the fact that CM Punk was so late into the Royal Rumble that his coming back is a straight gimmick that's not going to do anything because he literally got hurt and he was 27th and he's injured already. Like, way to come back for one match, a couple dark matches, and then you're on the shelf again. Stupid move by WWE. I'm sorry, but it's dumb. I think CM Punk is a joke. Like, he was cool before, left for 10 years, came back, and it was just a nonstop chatterbox for 3 months since he came back, and then he gets hurt. What a joke! What a joke! What a joke! What a joke! So, I hope he heals up and that's cool. Maybe we'll see him come back, tail end of middle to tail end of the year and maybe he can get some good storylines developed, but, like, I mean, we gotta get to WrestleMania first, and so, I feel like, Elimination Chamber is gonna be a lot of qualifying matches. I don't think I think it'll just be basically a step towards, a main event at I mean, yeah, basically a match at WrestleMania because I don't know who's gonna stop Gunther. I really don't. Short of Brock Lesnar, but now Brock Lesnar's kind of we don't know. So, and I'm sick of Logan Paul. I'm sick of like he's just a goofy guy that they're trying to get YouTube clickbait for Logan Paul, and we're not entertained. Not one bit. But, you know, I hope, we get some new developing storylines in the next week or so we can kind of spread our wings and make more um, videos on more current branding. I mean, you know, Elimination Chamber, well, we'll see where it goes. And, so we'll be back in about a week. Maybe Tim will be here with me and we can both pontificate our thoughts on the current brand. This is the Lockdown Podcast.